Hello, welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Thanks for tuning in. Please like the video if you are able to catch the live stream, then like the video as you come in the room. And if you're catching the replay, I would appreciate a like and a comment down below to let me know what you think about this topic. Um, I had to see what was all the commotion going on. I think I was on a run or something one day when I saw videos and podcasts and stuff like that, um, sharing their opinion of apparently Lori Harvey has broken up with Michael B. Jordan. And I was like, I just don't see why this is such a big deal. It really isn't. It's not a big deal because people date and don't date anymore all the time. I mean, I know they're celebrities and everything, but it just seems to be so much extra sauce on something that doesn't have to be so charged, something that really is not political. It's just like two individuals dating and then it not working out. But you have certain sectors of this community that are literally like, they're just going off the deep end. I mean, they're imploding about this breakup. They're imploding about it. And it's just like, why? I mean, I guess we know why. Um, I think that they just don't, anybody that doesn't engage in black male worship, they 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 just have no well, they don't have respect for black male worshipers either. It's just intolerable to them. Like that they'll have a fit. So when they deal with you, they want you psychologically, emotionally, financially, family. They want you intertwined with them forever on your end, even if they move on. So if they move on, they want you to be still available for them to like slide through whenever they want, you know. And so when you have a clean break, that's something that their dysfunction just can't understand, and they will push back on it, and they will hurl a bunch of insults and things like that. It doesn't matter whether the insults are relevant or not, or whether they are applicable to the person who is receiving the insults, who the person who's being insulted. Doesn't matter because the purpose is not to be truthful and to be honest and to provide, fair and balanced criticism. The objective is to devalue the person who's being insulted and to disparage them. And that's the whole thing. So, um, I I know a lot of people got vested in this relationship and I never did because if I know Lori Harvey and if I know Marjorie Harvey the way I think I do, if I understand how they move the way I think I do, then Michael B. Jordan was never a viable candidate for Lori. I don't know how so many leveled up women got that twisted. I don't know how they got that twisted. Michael B. Jordan was never, listen to me, Michael B. Jordan was never a viable candidate for long term relationship. Michael B. Jordan has a few coins, but Michael B. Jordan does not have long money. That isn't to say that he couldn't create it or something of that nature, but in this moment, he ain't got it. Okay? He does not have Steve Harvey money. He may have Steve Harvey name recognition or at least on his way, but he doesn't have Steve Harvey's money. One thing you'll know about uh, the daughters of leveled up women who married well, whether it's their father or their stepfather, if they're really hypergamous and leveled up, they're not gonna be with someone who makes less money than their dad. Okay? That's tip number one. That should have been the biggest clue for black women that Michael B. Jordan was not a viable, serious candidate for long-term relationship. He does not have a fraction of what Steve Harvey has. See, Michael B. Jordan is a paid contractor, okay? He's a paid contractor. That's basically what actors are. They come on, they do a job, they have a set amount of money for that job, and it's over. And a lot of times the residuals are not lucrative. Steve Harvey owns the international rights of Family Feud, which is blowing up in Africa right now. Blowing up. I want to say he has ownership in the Kings of Comedy, his royalties from that. I don't think he has many royalties from the Steve Harvey show, but like all his comedy specials, he gets residuals from that. Plus, he has the production company. And then he just does a million and one things in media, and much of it he owns royalties and rights to the copyrights and whatnot, the intellectual property. So his money is, I mean, it's not comparable. Like him and Jay-Z are comparable as far as money is concerned. Puff is comparable. Diddy is comparable to Steve Harvey. Michael B. Jordan can't even sit at the table with those. Like he can't even sit at the table. You understand? Like he has a few coins, but he don't have that type of money, that type of ownership. So he was never a viable candidate. I think she was having a little bit of fun, which you should be able to have fun when you're in your 20s, especially if it's going to be like safe fun and still lucrative fun. Because he did buy her stocks. I know that for sure. And there's no telling what else she got. I'm sure she was getting monthly allowance. I'm sure she was getting her bills paid and she got stocks. So this is why I tell you ladies to always remember to get something an asset when you're dating somebody. Because now that that relationship is over between her and Michael B. Jordan, she still has her stocks from him that he bought her that are still growing in value and possibly paying dividends. You see, so it doesn't matter whether the relationship is over, you still have something of value for your time. Because regardless of whether you're having fun or not, she can't get that year back or 2 years back or however long she dealt with him. She can't get her time back. So the least you could do is get some funds in the meantime, get some assets from the relationship. And I think it's good to see the way she dates because she dates in a way that's not devastating. And I've talked about this theme on the channel. She dates in a way that is not devastating to her because she's never sacrificing anything of significance of herself. She's not letting herself go. She's not getting pregnant by multiple men that she dates. You see, she's she's still continuing to level up while dating. And that's exactly how you should date. You should level up while dating. That's not the time to, and fall back and, lose your standards. No, continue to maintain your standards and level up while dating. I mean, and a lot of times I don't use her as an example that much just because of the phenotype. You know, I would rather use black women with a more, you know, darker, more kinkier type of phenotype, just because I think more women can relate to that, more black women can relate to that than Lori Harvey's phenotype, which is like she looks like she could be biracial, pretty much, and as well as Marjorie. And so when you're talking about biracial women dealing with black men, that's a totally different dynamic than phenotypically African black women dealing with black men and how we navigate the world. I feel like there's differences, enough differences that, I try to use other examples, but nonetheless, she is being discussed, so we can still use her as an example and see what she's doing that's helpful. Keeping in mind still the phenotype kind of maybe makes things different for her, but still some of the basic principles still remain the same regardless of how you look, regardless of your race, hair texture, or any of that jazz. Maintaining things like maintaining your standards while dating, collecting assets from the males that you're dating. And if you're going to have fun, don't have broke fun. Okay? Don't have broke fun. Like this is something that um I've had to talk to women who are supposedly on the level up journey in my own personal life that they think that, oh, I'm going to date this older wealthy man over here and then I'm going to go back to the hood and I'm going to play with Tyrone for fun. And honestly, I will have to say stop that. It's very, very dangerous. Don't do that. You think that you're in control and you think um it's just for fun, it's just a side dude, it's a side piece, it's whatever. You think you can toggle back and forth between the two lifestyles when one of the lifestyles is putting you in a very vulnerable state. Okay, you're opening yourself up to so much badness that can just totally destroy everything you're doing on the other side. So I don't suggest going back and forth. I suggest making a clean break and stopping that. If you're going to have fun, it's okay to have fun, but you have to need to have clean, leveled up fun. Okay. Now, although Michael B. Jordan doesn't have as much money as Steve Harvey, he still has enough coins to provide for a good dating experience. You understand? He may not have husband money, but he has good dating money. Okay. Going to the club VIP, going to the best restaurants in LA, flying different places, getting assets, getting your bills paid. All of that he can handle. You see what I'm saying? Hope you do. But the long generational money, he ain't got that. He don't have that. I mean, who knows what the future holds, but I'm talking about right now. He don't have that. I don't think Marjorie would approve of him as a husband. I think Steve will do whatever Lori says because he's pretty much like she has him wrapped around her finger. But I don't think Marjorie would have approved of him to be a husband material. I'm sure she was like, well, go ahead and have fun, dear. Have fun. Daughter. She knows she's been trained from little, she her mother has trained her from little, from being a little girl. So it's ingrained in her. And sometimes your daughters can be rebellious to the things that you're teaching. Sometimes your children can rebel against what you're teaching, but Lori seems to embrace at least that aspect of what her mother has taught her. And Marjorie's always modeled to her exactly what expects of her. And it's great that she has allowed her the space to explore and, have different experiences and things like that. But she's never lost sight of the ultimate teachings and the ultimate philosophies and the ultimate way of life, the ultimate worldview that her mother has instilled in her. So I think that the people who are devastated are really the ones who bought into it. The Black love people are devastated. The Black love people are devastated. The struggle bandits are devastated. The pygmies are devastated. And saying mean things about Marjorie. Hey, Mocha Mommy. Yes, yes. When you have a daughter that you're trying to teach her the way and she's just like not all the way, following what you say. It's hard as a mother because you know they're gonna go bump their head and stuff like that. But you just don't want to, you don't want to bump your head in a way that's going to be too detrimental. So I think that Michael B. Jordan was a good dating choice, even though he may not be the best husband choice. And pick me's don't really get the difference between the two because they're just ready to be chosen. So they'll take a piece of a man, any man. They don't really have any standards. They don't really have any goals or aspirations. They just need a warm body to claim them. So they're very upset with Lori for leaving this quote good black man. He's a good black man, and all this type of foolishness. But they don't have any standards. So um her standards repulse them. And I think she could do better. I mean, I've always thought that from the beginning of this relationship. I never took it serious at all because I know she can do better. I know she can do better. She can get somebody with some real money. Okay? And some real notoriety. I mean, it's like if I had to choose between money and notoriety, I'll choose the money every day, hands down. She seems to like the limelight though, so I wonder if she would be okay with having like a financier, you know, a banker or a hedge fund manager or something who doesn't like the limelight but allows her to do whatever she wants. Because that's the type of money she needs. That type of financier type of money to live the type of life that she's accustomed to. I mean, if I was her mama, I would tell her to shy away from entertainment guys, period. There's some rumor that she's dealing with Jack Harlow, but who knows if that's true. If that was her mother, that's what I would tell her. Get away from these entertainment guys and get you some money. Get you a man with some quiet money. But I mean, she's in LA, so I mean, I know that that's what surrounds her as entertainment guys, but she should definitely go to New York or something. Go to New York, go to London, go to Raleigh, go to some of these financial hubs and start mingling in those circles over there and get you somebody with some money, quiet money. Those people with those family trusts that don't like anybody to know how much they have. That's the way. Yeah. Yeah, I mean yeah, that's a good point that you bring up that she moves in silence because I think that there was a part of her and I mean I could think back when I was in high school. Like when I was in high school, I remember wanting to date this football player. He was like a starting senior, and I was like, oh, I finally get my like ooh relationship. Like I get to go to the dance with this guy, and I get to go to the homecoming with him, and we get to be on the scene, and ah la 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 la. I really didn't even like him that much, but I just wanted that experience of being the it couple. He ended up moving to a different state, so I didn't get to, play that all the way out. But I was so like happy to be dating him at that time just because of the time. It was like football season and he was like the star quarterback. You know what I mean? So I think that, when you're a young girl, and Lori's not a young girl, but she's still young. I think there's a part of you like that wants that it couple type of situation. Um, when you're young and naive and, you know, you're still, you just want to go through different experiences. And so I think that she wanted that, and so she got that. She got the, oh, couple goals. Because people didn't really feel that way about Future. People really didn't feel that way about Diddy, but they did feel that way about Michael B. Jordan. Like, oh my gosh, they're the it couple. Ooh, look at them. What are they wearing to the Met Gala? What are they wearing here? What are they wearing there? So hopefully Lori has gotten that ooh, I'm the it couple stuff out of her system. because Michael B. Jordan, I mean, he's probably the safest of the unqualified men that she could be with. And then the rest of them, like many of them, it's too much of a risk on you. You know what? One of my friends told me, back to the situation I was telling y'all with like women I've talked to who think that they could have these side pieces that are struggle bandits. She's with this guy. She's dating two multimillionaires right now, but she still keeps his side Tyrone. And the Tyrone told her explicitly, he said, I will sabotage every relationship you try to get into. That's what he said. I will sabotage every relationship that you try to get into. And she's still dealing with him. She's like somehow addicted to this guy or something. I don't know. Because for me, I go off of treatment and current treatment. And I was like, why do you keep dealing with this dude? She was like, oh, well, he used to be so great. And I know what he's capable of. But that's the number one reason why people in domestic violence stay with their partners, stay with a violent offender. They stay with a violent offender because they were love bombed at the beginning of the relationship, and they always think that they can get back to that place. All they need to do is just stick around, make up for this fight, stick around a little bit longer. He's going to get it together. It's going to be like how when you started. And it never gets that way. It only gets more and more violent and more dangerous. So, yeah, when she said that, that's what I thought of. I thought about domestic violence victims and their thought process of staying with domestic violence aggressors, you know. And so that's why she's with this Tyrone. She thinks he's going to somehow do what he did at the very beginning, but he hasn't done it in years. And when someone explicitly tells you, I'm going to sabotage your relationships, I mean, I just don't know why you wouldn't believe them. I mean, I would just take that serious. But honestly, I wouldn't even give anybody like that an opportunity. Um, this is something that I share with you ladies. Don't give your time based off of what he did before. And that's why I told y'all, stuff gets used up. Okay, money gets used up, resources get used up. Um, I talked to y'all about that in the sugar baby and stripper video. I talked to you about it in other videos as well. It always has to be a continuous investment, okay? Has to be continuous good treatment, has to be continuous respect, has to be continuous good vibes and good dating. You can't allow someone to take you, sweep you off your feet with a whirlwind tour and put a bunch of money in your hand. And they did that 2 months ago. And today, all you doing is Netflix and chilling and ain't getting no money. And well, 2 months ago, I got money in my, no, it don't work like that. No, it's continuous. Like, okay, you gave me that money. We already used that up. So now it's time for the next investment. You see what I'm saying? So if you have that principle, you're never going to be exploited. Everything I'm sharing with you are exploitation proof tactics to dating. You're not going to be exploited. If you require continuous good treatment, continuous resources, continuous investment, pay as you go, you'll be fine. But if you start adding all these stipulations like, well, last year we did go, and then 2 years ago, and last quarter, no. What's going on today? How's everything today? That will keep you safe. But anywho, back to Lori Harvey. Um, the main thing that the Black women need to understand about this is, just to take the good things from it. Take the dating without devastation from this situation. That's a good thing. She is not destitute. She is not left alone with a child. She is not, she was never disrespected in public because she has standards. And everybody that comes to her is going to know that because you'll hear people criticizing her online, but if they had an opportunity to date her, they will give her their very best because of the image that she puts out, like what she expects, how she gets treated and her mama get treated. Okay. Because how she gets treated, her mama gets treated, her reputation precedes her. You already know. These struggle bandits here, Lori Harvey's company, they're gonna go try to spruce up, clean up, suck in their gut, okay? Dig in their pockets, see what kind of money they got to give her. So believe what like you cannot believe what they say. They saying all those things because they're butthurt. Every time a woman is free, every time a woman just has the freedom to just exist, to go through different experiences and go through these experiences in a non-black male worshiping way and non-black male worshiping fashion, they become like this um object, like this target for vitriol, like Jada Pinkett, for example, because she didn't behave in the typical black male worshiping fashion, and because she has a man who was emotional behind her safety. I'm not saying what he did was right or wrong. I'm just saying they don't like that for black women, even light-skinned black women. They don't want any black woman to experience that. And that's fine. They don't have to. Like I've said, y'all, we don't need them to stand in agreement with what we know is best for us because that would be a recipe for never feeling at peace with what you have. If you need for people who don't have your best interests to stand in agreement with you that you deserve something, you're never going to feel at peace with it. So you have to know that it's okay for you to have these things, for young women to explore dating in a healthy and safe manner, in a lucrative manner, until you decide that you want to move further. You know, y- 25 is still young, it's still very young. Can you imagine cutting off all of your opportunities at 25 and committing to someone who hasn't even proved himself in the world? I mean, yeah, he has a few coins, but he hasn't proven. Can you lose it all and get it back? Can you lose it all and get it back? If he stopped taking acting gigs, does he have enough money for him and his three generations? No, he don't. He don't have enough money for even to have no kids if he stops acting. You see what I'm saying? He's like a paid for hire worker. No shade, I'm just saying. Um, Steve Harvey could stop working at this point and still maintain because of all the residuals and the ownership and the royalties and whatnot, whatnot. So why would she get with a guy who has less than her dad? I mean, as parents and as mothers, that's what we try to teach our daughters. You should get something at least what your dad has or more. And a lot of dads teach that to their daughters too. He should have more than I do. Like I've taken care of you. You're my princess. You're my daughter. If you're gonna leave my house, you better be going for an upgrade. Don't leave my house and go live in squalor. Don't leave my house and go be in struggle. Don't leave my house and downgrade. No, leave my house and go to a better place. That's what I've been sacrificing for all these years for you to go to the next level up. And the pygmies are so confused that she would leave this so-called good man. Well, again, our standards are night and day. They don't have any, and we do. So those who have standards and requirements understand that that played itself out to its it played itself out. As for me, I never lost faith in her, and I knew that this was never serious. So I wasn't surprised at all. Other people were surprised because I think other people took it serious. Like, oh my gosh, they're so in love. Oh, this is the one. Oh, he's cured of his problems. He likes black women now. No, I don't think he does. I think he'll go back to white women. I never thought he liked black women, and I'm not even so sure that this wasn't an arrangement that he needed to prove to black women that he would be willing to be with a black woman. So he picked the most ambiguous looking black woman he could. And I don't know what type of, I mean, I don't know that there was a financial arrangement for this public relationship, but I'm saying that it's possible. That is a theory. It's possible that this was all an arrangement, that she was being compensated for her time in allowing him to parade around a black woman to garner the attention and and it worked to some extent. I mean, a lot of black women who were really upset with him about his comments about preferring white women and that he knows that without black women he doesn't really have a career. It's black women going to see a lot of these movies that he's in, and white women are not, hear me when I say, white women are not checking for Michael B. Jordan at all. At all. Now, the few little ones in his personal circle that he's able to invite to his little events and stuff and be around him in a white girl entourage, yeah, they are because they're all getting paid. Okay, make no mistake about that. They're all getting paid. Those white women frolicking around him, they're all getting paid. Okay? Um, But I'm just saying, just in general, he's not a heartthrob among white women. He's not. He's not. It's black women who he's the heartthrob among black women. And he knows that when he was being honest, because he was telling the truth about his preferences, he likes white women and he feels like he should be able to date as many as he wants, da, 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 and it turned black women off. So I mean, it's not far fetched to say he engaged in this arrangement to endear black women back to him. And to a large extent, it has helped. And now he looks like the victim. Now he looks like the heartbroken victim good guy who's been devastated by the Jezebel for the streets, Lori Harvey. Like that's the narrative that's playing out right now. Lori should try to go mainstream. I think that she should get out of being like a black celebrity of black community and just try to just go mainstream. That's what I would do. Go pop, go mainstream, you know, and branch out from black publications to just like general audience presentation, publications. Is what I wanted to say, and get some quiet, long money and hobnob over there because there's a cap on how far you can go over here, and you're always going to have all that vitriol from these struggle bandits and the mammies and the pygmies and all that, because they're not going to understand what you're doing. And you're not allowed to be free as a black woman over here. You're not allowed to be free. You have to be subjugated. You have to be in engulfed in black male worship, or else you're useless. You're not allowed to move on. And they hold grudges for years and years and years. And they still cry and whine about certain situations because they hold grudges and they don't forget. They want you to forget and forgive, but they don't. You know, you can't, over here, it's so dysfunctional. Over there, it's so dysfunctional. You have someone with 8 kids, possibly about to have 11, broken homes, and it's radio silence, no criticisms at all. And then you have a regular young woman in her 20s who dated someone and they went their separate ways, and they're all having heart attacks behind that. So it just shows you where the priorities are with that sector of the community, which is really a large sector of the community. They are committed to keeping black women in subjugation. And so if you look like you're not enslaved and anchored in poverty and, you know, engulfed with manipulation and gaslighting and devaluation, if you look like you are a woman who's free to just frolic the earth and live your best life, they have a major problem with that. Major, major. But they don't have a problem with like plantation buck inseminators populating the earth. They don't have a problem with that. So it shows you where the priorities are, and it shows you what's important, and it shows you what they value, and it shows you what they condone. So that's why it's important for you to chart your own territory and for you to glean from different situations what you need to glean for your own personal inspiration, or just not play into it. Because it's definitely not anything that we have to get into the pig pen and argue with them about. It's like, you want to, okay, whatever you think is fine. Whatever you think is fine. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, we don't argue with Dusties. We do not argue with Dusties. Oh, wow. Mocha Mommy says that Michael B. Jordan is only 5'8". Wow, I didn't even know he was that short. There was a 10-year age gap. He still has a chance, has to chase acting roles and competing with men a lot younger for roles. Yep. I'm sure that this was a mutual beneficial relationship. Her SKM line will do fine. Yeah. Yeah, it was. And it's just like, oh my Lord, it just shows how dysfunctional so many elements of this community is, that people cannot date and then break up and it not be political. It really doesn't even have to be political. It doesn't have to be, oh, let's just start disparaging, Lori Harvey because this relationship didn't work out. She's this and she's that and a Jezebel spirit and a da 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 da. It's just team too much. It's just team too much. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, even when I'm looking at Carisha, the city girl, and I'm like, I think she should go and get whatever she can get from the situation she was in. I don't even know if she's in it anymore, but I think you should get as much as you can get while you're there. I have so much to say about any Black woman with access to resources who's free. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole situation thus far with the information that I know. That is how I feel about the situation. Hey, Sissy Asia. That's how I feel about the situation. So definitely drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the situation. Tell me what you like about the way Lori Harvey dates. What's the difference between how she dates and the average black male worshiper? What are the differences that you see? And I look forward to reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right, y'all. Peace.